now, it's time for the award-winning PC game reviews by GameSHOUT. The GameSHOUT PC game reviews.
Welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. You are listening to the PC Playground. We've got the whole GameSHOUT Radio crew here. It's a very nice full house. We're going to start off, as is our want, with a little bit of PC news. Well, it seems that Phantasy Star Universe has been delayed. Sega of America has pushed back the release date of Phantasy Star Universe to the fall of 2020. The reason given for this delay is not to be scheduled for spring release. The developer, Sonic Team, has set ambitious goals for the sequel to the popular Phantasy Star Online universe. Will include online mode to support hundreds of players in a 40-hour single-player campaign. Well, we have actually some interesting news. I'm going to bring it over to our correspondent in the field with a Civ 4 update. I give you Soulrift.
Yes, Mav, that's right. I am standing here on the coast of Cologne. It is now 1350 AD, and I have just completed construction of the Statue of Liberty. That's right, the latest patch for Civilization 4 has enabled a new gameplay mode called Marathon Mode. Now, this doesn't mean that you get to play the game over and over and over again forever. What it means is that everything takes a whole lot longer. The original game shipped with 3 essentially speed modes. There's the fast mode, the normal gameplay mode, and what they called epic mode, which the idea was to slow everything down and give you more turns to actually engage in combat before you started inventing too much new technology. Well, this new marathon mode, I've been playing this thing for 3 days straight, constantly telling my producers I just need one more turn, but then they keep interrupting me with other shows and reviews. It is incredible. You have got, if you're a Civ 4 fan and you haven't got that patch yet, you have got to patch up and play a marathon mode game.
I'm definitely on that one. This definitely sounds like one to go for. And I like Civ 4. I get into it. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, listen, we're going to turn it back over to Soulrift here, and we're going to let him tell you all about his preview of our look into SWAT 4, the Stetchkov Syndicate. Oh, another Russian.
There's this clarity you get, where you're focused on the moment, the unknown, the danger on the other side of the door.
Entry team in position. Keep moving.
You position your team.
Prepare to make entry.
You secure your weapon.
Fall in. Follow me.
You take a deep breath and pray to God you're ready.
Put your hands up!
The most authentic tactical law enforcement experience for PC just got more dangerous, more intense, and more explosive than ever. SWAT 4, the Stetchkov Syndicate, featuring awesome new weapons, and expanded co-op multiplayer for up to 10 players.
Get on your knees! Okay, I give up!
SWAT 4, the Stetchkov Syndicate. Coming soon on PC, rated M for mature.
Feeling stupid yet?
Well, that's right. In between turns of Civilization 4, one of my favorite games to play is SWAT 4, which came out around this time last year, well, in spring last year. Well, now they're finally releasing an expansion pack for SWAT 4. Definitely one of the better games, better tactical shooters I've ever played. And it's called the Stetchkov Syndicate. Now, if you've been following the SWAT games since they originally came out, the first 3 SWAT games, they followed a sort of a storyline. Each mission would be connected because you'd be following a criminal from crime scene to crime scene. And the SWAT 4 game got rid of all that. All 14 missions in SWAT 4 were completely separate. You'd be going in with your SWAT team, responding to emergency situations as if you were, police officers or whatever, but it wasn't like being part of a movie. It wasn't a movie experience. It was much more of a realistic simulation tactical experience. And a lot of people didn't quite like that, so with the Stetchkov Syndicate expansion, the 7 new missions, so 7 may not seem like much, but remember, the original game had 14, so this is a 50% increase to 21 in total, will have a continuing storyline that follows the SWAT team as they track down a notorious Eastern European crime syndicate who's been bringing weapons and drugs into the safe haven city of LA. I don't know what you're going to make of that. In addition to those 7 new missions, they've also added a whole bunch of new gear, new weapons. They've added night vision goggles to the game, definitely a staple in this sort of tactical shooter. And they've added some a new and improved taser, some more submachine guns and non-lethal weapons, and they've also brought back a few tools that they had in earlier games, including the light sticks that you can use to mark rooms. They've also added an ammo pouch, so if you pass up an opportunity to carry another piece of equipment, you can carry some extra ammo if you're a big run-and-gun type. And like you've heard, they've also expanded the multiplayer. Co-op is now doubled from 5 players to 10. Very interesting if you've got big groups playing on a LAN. It's definitely one of the best co-op multiplayer games I have ever played. And I really look forward to getting together with my friends to play this together. And of course, the new weapons are also going to be available in those 14 first missions. So once you install this, you get to go back and replay the whole game again with a lot more fun experience. Back to you, Mav.
More firepower. Now you're talking. Well, you know how I am about firepower. That's why coming up next, I'm going to bring you our review, well, my review, of Heli Heroes. That's got some firepower. We're going to do that right after we get back, right after this.
You're listening to GameSHOUT Radio. We sure have come a long way from actually dialing a number on the phone. You can even play games on your mobile phone in this new age. And hey, what better way to know about new mobile games than with GameSHOUT's Pocket Players Mobile Edition mini podcast? Hear the latest and greatest innovations in mobile technology and games. Find out how these mobile games fare before you go out and buy them. Learn about new games on their way to the mobile scene. You can hear all about the games, news, previews, and reviews that matter from the only gaming site that really matters. GameSHOUT.com.
And welcome back to the PC Playground here on GameSHOUT Radio. This is Captain Maverick, and we've got lots of fun coming at you all day long. But right now, I'm going to jump right into my review. This was a blast. My review of Heli Heroes. You know, back in the early days of video gaming, you had to go to an arcade to play most games. Now, I know because I was there. And there were these huge bulky machines that, you know, seemed to wear out quickly. They had the image burnt in the CRT tubes, and it just, you know, it was just a, what can you expect? But later, there came the smaller machines that a player could actually sit down at. Well, most of those were into bars. There were these side-scrollers in the arcade shooters that I really got into. I became really very good at these side-scrollers. I found I could spend much of the night with just a few quarters. And cheap beer night, it would make it a really fun time. Well, today, you know, it seems that I still have a soft spot for the side-scroller arcade shooters, because when I first loaded Heli Heroes and saw what they've become, I got really interested really quick. It's developed by Reality Pump. It's published by Sussex Entertainment. I hope I pronounced that right. But Heli Heroes is not the typical side-scroller of 20-plus years ago. It's a very, very nice-looking 3D scroller. Gone are the days where the targets and the terrain had no depth, limited detail in their environments. Heli Heroes has great depth. It looks very nice. It's very detailed, very colorful. The effects are done nicely, and, well, that alone drove me to play on to see what was next. You know, give me the next mission. Man, I was just into it, too. Heli Heroes, it places you right in the middle of a World War III episode where terrorist groups threaten world peace. Yeah, you got the gist. It's great terrorist action. Now, you have your choice of 2 helicopters. You've got a U.S. AH-64 Apache Longbow. Oh, that's my favorite. Or you've got the Russian Hokum. That's a nice bird, too. They're both excellent birds. They've got great strengths and weaknesses. The Apache, you get stronger guns. The Hokum, it's about 50% stronger shields. Now that you've got your gunship, you need to learn how to use it. The training levels, they're fun, but not really necessary for many. Though you must at least complete the last training mission to continue to the first live-fire mission. And you do get what you expect with Heli Heroes. That's hordes of enemies rushing at you all at once, plus tons of ground targets. And then you progress through the game. You're going to be able to pick up these more futuristic weapons. The laser's the first weapon, but there's each is more powerful. Yeah, lots of fun. One of the first missions, it pits you against a heavily guarded communication dishes. 3 of them. You've got to destroy these 3 dishes. Well, being a consummate scroller, you know, the movement can only be slowed, but can't be stopped. And you can't go back for something that you've missed, but don't sweat it. As you come around a couple of times, I mean, it takes a few times to finally destroy the target. So you're going to come back around, you're going to be able to pick up what you left there the first time. And you have the opportunity to pick up or recharge the weapons or the shield plates or whatever. Now, another mission, it sends you to eliminate an enemy target, one of their leaders who's escaping in AN-24. You got to bring it down. Now, this one takes a little bit more time, and you really need to work at dodging missiles and guns that are being fired at you. The first mission you pick up a new weapon on, that laser, yeah, you're assigned to destroy a research facility and then pick up the laser. Now, suffice it to say that you should basically destroy everything in sight, but be careful about the collateral damage. If you destroy a non-combatant building, there appears this round double arrow. It looks like a refresh symbol. Don't fly into it. You're going to find yourself flying upside down as punishment for the civilian damage. This will be quite disorienting. It lasts about 30 seconds. There's 30 missions to choose from in the single-player game. You can also play with another player in co-op mode. All right, the controls are interesting. You're both going to be sharing the computer, so one of you is going to use a keyboard, while the other uses a joystick or the other side of the keyboard. Now, there are only a few controls anyway. Forward is faster and operated by the F keys. It controls your blade angle. And forward on your joystick, it makes you go faster. So you slow down by changing the blade angle back on the F keys or pulling back on the stick. And then when you use your weapon keys, they're just, that's it. Weapons are guns, and guns are missiles. Missiles are lasers. I found the game loads of fun. It brought back a lot of memories, as it should. This is a TopWare re-release of the game. It's about 3 or 4 years old. 2 years old. It's 2003. I did enjoy the graphics, the action, but I was really a bit disappointed in the voice acting. It sounded kind of hokey and forced. The sounds were also a little thin. Left me really wanting more, though my wife kept telling me to still turn it down. Additionally, this being a re-release of an older game, it might call for a little touching up or polishing before re-releasing. That wasn't the case with Heli Heroes. Overall, though, I enjoyed the game. I found it a fun diversion. It should give the average player about 8 hours of gameplay with limited replayability. Yes, there is cooperative play, and you can go back and fly the other chopper. This doesn't really add that much to the replayability of the game. It gets an E for everyone rating, and it's well earned. Most children can pick this up and play it easily. I found that none of the content was objectionable. No blood, gore, violence. There's lots of great explosions, and it's a great bargain basement game under $10. 7.8 out of 10. Well, that's it for Gamepad Gamers. Or, excuse me, PC Playground will be right back right after this.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.